Get back. Get back. Quick, Cash. Come. Quick. It's okay. Come here. It's not bad. Come here, Cash. Shit. Come here. Post it. Cash.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth.
Bubba. Hey, Bubba.
It's a guinea.
This is a chicken.
Come here, Bubba.
Come here, Cash.
Come here, Bubba.
Cash. Quick.
What if I told you that a respected attorney from one of America's most powerful legal dynasties murdered his own wife and son in cold blood? What if I told you he stood over their bodies and called 911, knowing he had just pulled the trigger? And what if I told you the signs were there all along, hidden beneath a veneer of Southern charm and family prestige? This is the true story of Alex Murdaugh. Before we dive into this twisted tale, I need you to do something. If you're fascinated by cases that expose the darkness behind closed doors, then subscribe to Dark Trail Files right now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we're taking you through one of the most shocking criminal cases in modern history. You won't want to miss what comes next. For nearly a century, the Murdaugh name meant something in South Carolina's Low Country. It meant power. It meant influence. Starting in 1920, 3 generations of Murdaugh men served as the 14th Circuit Solicitor, the chief prosecutor for 5 counties. For 87 years, they controlled justice itself. Alex Murdaugh, born in May 1968, was groomed to be its crown prince. Alex grew up with every advantage. He played football, was named prom king, and seemed destined for greatness. In August 1993, he married Margaret Kennedy Branstetter, known as Maggie. They had 2 sons, Buster and Paul. To the world, they were the perfect Southern family, wealthy, well-connected, living on a 1,700-acre estate called Moselle. But beneath the surface, something was rotting. The first cracks appeared long before the murders. In February 2018, Gloria Satterfield, the Murdaugh family's housekeeper for over 2 decades, fell at their home. She was 57, a woman who loved the family she worked for. Gloria was found at the bottom of stairs, bleeding from the head. She died weeks later. Alex told everyone the family dogs tripped Gloria. He encouraged her sons to sue him, promising them an insurance settlement. He recommended they use his friend, attorney Corey Fleming. What seemed like compassion was actually a scheme. A $500,000 settlement was reached, then another for $3.8 million. Gloria's sons never saw a penny. Alex had stolen over $4 million meant for a grieving family. But here's what's truly disturbing. In 2023, Alex's lawyers filed documents admitting he lied about everything. No dogs were involved. He invented the story to force insurance companies to pay out. The truth about Gloria's death remains a mystery. What we know is that 1 month before she died, Alex took out commercial insurance. Then he collected millions when she fell. And Gloria wasn't his only victim. For years, Alex had been stealing from his law firm and clients. He created fake bank accounts. He claimed fees on non-existent cases. He intercepted insurance payments and deposited them personally. He stole from paraplegics, from grieving families, from injured people who trusted him. By the time investigators caught up, the total exceeded $9 million. On February 24th, 2019, Paul Murdaugh was drunk, driving a boat with friends. They crashed. 19-year-old Mallory Beach was thrown from the boat. Her body was found a week later. Paul was indicted on charges of boating under the influence causing death, facing up to 25 years. The crash triggered lawsuits against the family, threatening to expose their finances. For Alex, juggling financial crimes, this attention was dangerous. The boat crash wasn't just tragedy. It was a ticking time bomb. June 7th, 2021. The day started with confrontation. Jean Seckinger, the CFO at Alex's law firm, cornered him about missing money. Nearly $800,000 had vanished. She wanted answers. Alex promised to discuss it later. He knew time was running out. That evening, Alec, Maggie, and Paul were at Moselle. According to Alec's story, Maggie and Paul went to the dog kennels while he stayed at the house. He claimed he napped, tried calling Maggie, then drove to visit his mother. When he returned around 10:07 p.m., he found them. Maggie, 52, shot multiple times with a rifle. Paul, 22, hit with 2 shotgun blasts. Both dead at the kennels. Listen to this call. This is Alec moments after he claims to have discovered his family. Pay attention to his voice, his words. Investigators would say there were things that didn't add up, things suggesting he already knew what happened because he made it happen.
I'd like to play, Doug, the Colleton County portion of the 911 call, which is in evidence as Defendant's Exhibit Number 9.
2021, 22 hours, 7 minutes, 9 seconds.
I'm still here, okay?
County Communication.
Carlton, I have an Alex Murdaugh on the line, caller from 4147 Moselle Road. He's advising that his wife and child was shot.
Okay, and sir, give me the address again.
It's 4147 Moselle Road. I've been up to it now. It's bad.
Okay, how did they shoot?
Alec, when you say I've been up to it now and it's bad, what are you referring to?
I'm talking about what I saw was what y'all saw pictures of, and I mean, it was bad. It was terrible. And when I first got there, I know I got out of the car. I mean, I knew. Got out of the car, but right at first, I went all the way to them. I think I ran back and that's when I called 911. And so I called 911, and while I was doing that, then is when I went to Maggie and I went to Paul. And so that's what I think I'm talking about.
Keep going, please.
Do it now. It's bad.
Okay, how did they shoot? Did they shoot themselves?
Oh, no. Hell no.
Okay, and are they breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son.
Are they in a vehicle?
No, ma'am. They're on the ground out at my kennels.
Okay, and did you see anyone?
He shot in the head, and he shot really bad. He shot it.
Okay, where is he shot at?
Ma'am, I don't know, but there's blood everywhere. I can see his brain. Face down. I tried to turn her a little bit, but she's got a hole in her head.
Okay, is he breathing at all?
No, nobody.
Okay, do you see anything? Do you see anyone in the area?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No.
Is there any guns near them at all?
No, there's here.
What color is your house on the outside?
If that's what you're asking, they didn't shoot themselves, ma'am.
What?
Alec, right in there, you say the word here. What? Are you calling anybody or anything?
No, I'm talking to that dispatcher.
And what did you mean when you said here?
If you listen to that call, one of the first things she asked me was, did they shoot themselves? And I knew there's no way. I mean, I knew they didn't shoot themselves. There wasn't a gun. They didn't shoot themselves. And she'd asked me that. And then she asked me another question, something about that. And you hear me say here, and then you hear the thing talking. I'm telling her here, and then I say something, and then you hear me say, if that's what you're asking. And I'm letting her know They didn't shoot themselves. I'm saying here, and then I give her explanation, which you can't hear on that phone, but it's obvious to me what I'm doing. And I say, if that's what you're asking me. Like David Owens asked me on August 11th, did I call a dog or was I talking to somebody? There was no dog that was out and there was nobody there.
Talk about that briefly. Well, when you got there and you saw Maggie and Paul, where were the dogs?
The dogs were in the kennels. Dogs were in the kennels. They were wherever they were when law enforcement got there.
And you've seen pictures, and they called Dale Davis to the stand and talk about the hose rolled up. Did you roll the hose up?
No.
Did you do anything down there at the kennels when you got there other than call 911 and attend to Maggie and Paul?
No, I do know that I was trying to find a flashlight. I was trying to find a gun. Other than those things, no, I didn't do anything at the kennel. I didn't do anything with any hose. I didn't do anything with any dogs.
Was there anybody with you?
No.
Keep going, please.
It's white. You can't see it from the road. Okay, is it a house or a mobile home? It's a house. Okay, and what is your name? My name is Alex Murdaugh. Okay, did you hear anything, or did you come home and find out? I've been gone. I just came back. Okay, and was anyone else supposed to be at your house? No, ma'am. Please hurry. We're getting somebody out there to you. Oh, should have known.
Alec, we just heard you say, I should have known. What are you referring to?
I said, Paul, I should have known.
What were you referring to?
I was referring to Paul got so many threats. Didn't take serious. Think twice about. So I'm just telling him, Paul, I should have known. I won't specifically remember saying that, but I can clearly hear myself say that.
What kind of threats did you understand Paul was receiving?
I mean, Paul got the most vile threats. I mean, the stuff that was on social media, I mean, it was, you couldn't believe it. You couldn't believe it.
Keep going, please, Don.
Okay, what is her name?
Maggie and Paul.
Maggie is her name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When's the last time you talked to Maggie?
Hour and a half ago, probably 2 hours ago.
What? Okay, you said about 2 hours ago you talked to them?
Approximately, yes, ma'am, approximately.
You were asked the last time you saw them, and you said an hour and a half to 2 hours ago, and then she followed up 2 hours ago. You just heard that?
I did hear that. And I said approximately to her question.
When was the last time you saw them, Maggie and Paul?
Right after I took the chicken from Bubba.
The video we've seen is timestamp 8:44 p.m. Is that correct?
That's right.
So was it shortly after 8:44?
It was.
And then you called 911. There are records of that, but do you remember roughly 9:07 or right before 9:07?
I mean, I've seen the records and seen the transcripts, yeah.
And then this is, and the records of this, but this is some minutes into the conversation with 911 operators, correct?
That's right. Like,
knowing everything we know now, I mean, was it roughly an hour and a half the last time you saw him?
It was. That would, with the time of however long it took to get to this point, however many minutes that is 10:10 to 10, however many, you can look exactly and see what point this is and know what time it is, but it's between 10 and 10:15. And so I'd seen them around 8:45, a little bit after.
Alex's voice trembled as he told the dispatcher he'd been gone and just came back. But investigators noticed something. The emotion felt rehearsed, and his story would soon crumble. Alex told police he hadn't been to the kennels that night. He said the last time he saw them was at dinner. He claimed he was napping when they went to the kennels. He repeated this lie to the first deputy, to investigators at midnight, again 3 days later. But there was a problem. Paul had recorded a video on his phone at 8:44 p.m. He was filming a friend's dog with an injured tail. In the background, 3 voices could be heard. Paul's, Maggie's, and Alex. The video placed Alec at the scene minutes before the murders. This is the moment Alec had to face the evidence. The video his son recorded, not knowing it would expose his father. Watch his reaction as the truth comes to light. This video destroyed his alibi, proved he was at the kennels, proved he lied to everyone.
Well, what time did that camera come on?
At 8:44:49.
Okay. And how long was that video again?
It was roughly 50 seconds.
And when did that video end?
At 8:45:47.
And you're certain about that?
Yes, sir.
Why are you certain about that?
Because I reviewed the video. For looking at the length of the video, it compared it to the length of the camera time that was on. Also, too, there was data recorded in the video because it was taken with the phone that had GPS coordinates along with a description of the phone that took it.
Okay. And you're telling this jury today that you're certain that that is when that video was recorded on Paul's phone?
Yes, sir.
And as we referenced, when we were looking at that timeline, there's location data associated with that video as well, correct?
Yes, sir, correct.
All right. And where did you plot that location data?
It plotted to Moselle Road to near a building that had a red roof on it.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 297. Do you recognize it, sir?
Yes, sir, I do.
What is that?
It is a CD that contains a video. On it, it says Kennel Video, has States 297 on there, along with my initials and the date of 1/30/23.
And have you reviewed the contents of that CD?
Yes, sir, I have.
And what is the contents of that CD?
It is a video I found on Paul Murdaugh's phone. The video looks like inside maybe a kennel area with a fence around it and a dog, I believe to be a lab, where he's trying to take a video of the tail of the dog.
Okay. All right. And that's what you see in that video.
Yes, sir.
What do you hear in the video?
You hear 3 different voices in the video. You can tell because they're so different, you can tell that they're different voices.
All right. Now, are any of those voices known personally to you?
No, sir, they are not.
Okay. This time, State would move to enter Exhibit 297 into evidence.
The previous objection, no.
Submitted over objection.
All right. And at this time, State's going to publish that video. It is not under seal.
Get out. Quick, Cash. Quick. Cash.
Hey, you got burgers now.
Hey, brother.
It's a guinea.
There's a chicken.
Come here, Bob.
Come here.
Come here, Bob.
Cash. Quick.
What time is that video recorded again, Lieutenant Dove?
The camera begins at 8:44:49 p.m.
And ends when?
At 8:45:47 p.m.
Cross-examination.
It took investigators months to unlock Paul's phone. When they retrieved the video in April 2022, it changed everything. Paul's friends testified they were certain the voice was Alec. Voice analysts confirmed it. The video was irrefutable. When confronted, Alec finally admitted he lied. But he claimed his opioid addiction made him paranoid. He said he lied because he wasn't thinking clearly. Prosecutors saw a man who killed his family and lied to cover it up. 3 months after the murders, on September 4th, Alec called 911 claiming he'd been shot while changing a tire. He said a gunman in a passing truck opened fire. He was flown to a hospital with what authorities called a superficial wound. The next day, Alec resigned from his firm and announced he was entering rehab. Hours later, his firm accused him of stealing millions. The truth emerged. Alec hadn't been shot by a stranger. He arranged it himself, hiring Curtis Edward Smith to kill him so Buster could collect $10 million in life insurance. The plan failed. By September, authorities were investigating Alec for financial crimes. In November, he was indicted for stealing from Gloria's estate. More indictments followed. By year's end, he faced over 100 charges for fraud, embezzlement, money laundering, and tax evasion. He created a fake account called Forge, designed to look legitimate. He directed settlement checks there and took the money. He stole from paraplegics, from families who'd lost loved ones, from injured vulnerable people. He worked with banker Russell Lafitte, who helped access conservator accounts. Together, they moved millions. Prosecutors said Alec's financial crimes were the motive for murder. On the day of the killings, he knew confrontation was coming. He knew lawsuits threatened to expose his finances. He knew his empire was crumbling. So he created a distraction so devastating it would buy sympathy and time. He decided to kill his wife and son. In this interrogation, watch Alec's presentation. Listen to his explanations. Investigators spotted deception everywhere. Notice how he controls the narrative, deflects blame, positions himself as victim even as evidence mounts.
I hate to have to do this.
I understand.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
So you don't have any problem with it.
So just start at the top, take your time.
Like when I came back here, I mean, I pulled up and I could see him, and you know, I knew something was bad. I ran out. I knew it was really bad. My boy over there, I could see it was.
Sorry.
And I could see his brain on his. And I ran over to Maggie, and actually, I think I tried to turn Paul over first. You know, I tried to turn him over, and I don't know, I figured it out. His cell phone popped out of his pocket. I started to try to do something with it, thinking maybe, but then I put it back down really quickly. Then I went to my wife, and I mean, I could see.
Did you touch Maggie at all?
I did. I touched them both.
Okay.
I tried to take, I tried to do it as limited as possible, but I tried to take their pulse on both of them. And, you know, I called 911 pretty much right away. And she was very good. I talked to her. I told her I was going to get off the phone to call some family members. I did that.
What family members did you call?
I called my brother Randy, and I called my brother John. And I tried to call a little boy, real good friend that's right around the corner from here, but I didn't get him.
Okay. What all was around Paul when you walked up?
Blood.
Anything else?
I mean, there were some body things, yes, sir.
I mean, like any other evidence? I know you said the phone fell out the pocket, but did you see anything else that didn't belong or shouldn't belong or that wasn't part of Paul?
No, sir, not the, no, sir.
How about Maggie?
No, sir.
You didn't see anything around them? What made you come out here tonight?
I went to, my mom's a late stage Alzheimer's patient. My dad's in the hospital. My mom gets anxious when she does. I went to check on them and Maggie. Maggie's a dog lover, and she fools with the dogs. And I knew she'd gone to the kennel. I was at the house. I left the house and went to my mom's for just a little while. Tried to call her when I left. Texted her, no response. When I got back to the house was obviously nobody was in there, so I figured they're still up here fooling around. Paul was gonna be getting set up to plant. Our sunflower seeds got sprayed and died, and he was refiguring to plant the sunflower seeds. So I came back up here and I drove up and saw and called.
Had Maggie and Paul been arguing over anything?
No.
What was their relationship like?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. How about yours and Maggie's?
Wonderful. I mean, I'm sure we had little things here and there, but we had a wonderful marriage, wonderful relationship.
And yours and Paul's relationship?
As good as it could be.
How old was Paul?
22.
Okay. You know his date of birth? Have you talked with any of these guys tonight?
Talked with Nolan, yes, sir.
Is he out here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I tried to call Rogan, was one of the people he's the boy that I told you lives around the corner. That's very, you know, he's just a good, helpful young man. You mind if I open the door really quickly?
Go right ahead. Do what you need to do. So is there anybody that you can think of that we need to talk to tonight? Is there a name that comes to mind?
I mean, I can't tell you anybody that I'm overly suspicious of off the top of my head.
Okay.
You know? I mean, this is such a stupid thing. I'm even embarrassed to say it. But it just didn't make any sense. I just hired a guy out here, and he wasn't cutting the mustard, but I hadn't told him this yet. Paul's been working with him a lot. He killed the sunflower seeds in our dove field just recently, which is why Paul was here doing this. He told Paul a story the other day about how when he was in high school, he got in a fight with some black guys. And the FBI undercover team observed him fighting those guys and put him on an undercover team with 3 Navy SEALs. And that their job was to kill radical Black Panthers. And they did that from Myrtle Beach to Savannah. Now, I really don't think this guy, you know, is probably the person, but that's just so friggin'.
Yeah, that's kind of far-fetched story.
It's weird. But he was off today.
Okay.
He took his daddy to the doctor.
What's his name?
CB Rowe.
ROWE?
Yeah, and I sent him a message to text me earlier today about the sunflowers, and he called me back when I was on the way to my mom's house.
Did you talk to him at that time?
Briefly, I was on the phone with a lawyer friend of mine named Chris Wilson from Bamberg, so I told him I'd call him back tomorrow, see him in the morning.
When you briefly talked to Mr. Rowe, what was his demeanor or attitude? Or
I mean, it seemed normal. I mean, I asked him about the sunflowers, and so, you know, I mean, I'm sure he's a little bit.
Where does he live?
I don't exactly know. Somewhere in in Bronson.
Okay. Do you have his phone number?
I do.
You got it with you, please, sir?
I do. Time last week. My son Paul actually. I really do not think, in all honesty, that it's him, but I know y'all got to check it out. But Paul was so taken aback by it that he sent, I'll find it, I got it on my phone. He recorded him saying bits and pieces of it.
Okay.
No. But for all his weirdness, I mean, I do think they got along pretty good.
How long had he been working here?
I guess about 3 or 4 pay periods, so 8 weeks, a couple months.
Going back to the boat incident, anybody on that boat really have a hard-on for Paul that you would think would come after him, or know of any direct threats from people on the boat?
I don't know of any direct threats between any of the people on the boat specifically, but I do think there's been a small amount of yip-yap between a couple of them, but not recently.
Okay.
Most of this was stuff from people that Paul didn't really know.
Okay.
It was some people that he knew distantly, but more times than not, when I learned about it, it was somebody that he didn't know.
Okay.
It's like, for example, he went out in Charleston a couple months ago, came back, he got a black eye. And, he can't defend himself right now because he has these charges. So, Paul was a real tough man's man. He would just...
He would defend himself, but he hadn't been...
That's right, but...
How was he handling that case, moving over everybody?
As far as what?
How was he handling it?
I've never been prouder of him than the way he has handled the pressures and the adversity in that situation. I think I've told Danny that before. I mean, Paul is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful kid. He can do almost anything. He gets along with almost anybody.
Do y'all store any weapons out here?
We don't store them, but they're frequently out here. I need to find out if there were any out here, because I know there was a shotgun. There was a 12-gauge shotgun out here. I'll have to find out exactly when that was. I think it got put up, but I'm not positive.
What did that shotgun look like?
It was a camouflage. I want to say it was a Benelli or maybe a Beretta. I can't remember which brand it is. But I don't think it was out here.
Okay.
Recently. But I'm not positive.
And the shotgun that you had when deputies pulled up, where did that come from?
I went to the house and I got a gun. Probably overreacting, but...
And was that when you pulled up and saw them?
No, I mean, I came out and, I called 911 first. Talked to them for a little while, and then I told her.
You told her?
That I was going to go to the house.
Okay.
And that I would let authorities know when they got here that I had a gun.
Okay. Do you happen to have a list of all your guns?
I can make one. I don't have one, but I can make one.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, so we could compare if that shotgun was out here and now it's missing.
Absolutely.
Try to figure that out.
No, absolutely.
And I know living out here in the country, you probably have more than one or two.
We do. We probably have 20, 25 guns.
Yeah. Shotguns, rifles.
Pistols.
Any rifles?
Yes, sir.
What kind of rifles?
All kinds.
Yeah.
All kinds. You name it, across the board, we have them.
Okay.
And all of them we have are, in a hunting room in our house.
Laura, you got anything?
This one's hard, but when you first saw Paul, you said you tried to flip him over. Was he laying on his back or on his stomach?
Just like he
Just like he is. So you weren't able to move him. Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. And did he help Maggie a lot out here with the animals?
He helped everybody with everything.
Okay, so it was kind of routine for him to be out here as well in the evening?
This place is his absolute passion.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So, just to kind of let you know what's going to go on, we're going to be out here for quite some time. The coroner will take custody of Paul and Maggie.
Can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. What? 843. No, we're finished. Let me come out there where I'll be here when he gets here. No, don't let him come up here. Okay, yeah. I think we're about done. All right, thank you. So, I'm sorry.
Buster, get in here. Okay.
Yes, sir. I dropped my card.
We'll get you another one.
Sorry.
I'll get you one.
There you go.
Thank you.
So the coroner will come over and talk to you. They'll do the autopsy and everything, and then go from there.
Thank you.
But we'll come see you before we leave.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Rutland.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
In multiple interviews, Alec maintained innocence, but his story kept changing. First, he wasn't at the kennels. Then, when videos surfaced, he admitted he was there, but left before the murders. He couldn't explain inconsistencies in his timeline, blood spatter on his clothing, or gunshot residue on a raincoat at his mother's home. Detectives noted his behavior at the scene. Body camera footage showed Alec pacing, talking rapidly, repeatedly mentioning Paul's legal troubles. He seemed more focused on controlling the investigation than mourning. This is body cam footage from first responders. Watch Alec's behavior. Does he look like a man who just discovered his family slain? Or was someone managing a situation? Notice what he focuses on, what he says. This footage became critical evidence.
They are dead, aren't they?
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like.
Randy. Maggie's Paul are dead. Where are you now? All right. Yeah, the police are here now. The police are here now.
Affirmative.
That's my brother.
Okay. When was the last time you were here with them? Or talked to them or anything like that?
It was earlier tonight. I don't know the exact time, but
okay.
I left. I was probably gone an hour and a half from my mom's, and I saw them about 45 minutes before that.
Okay.
I rode around with Paul for 2 hours this afternoon in the pickup truck.
That's your son, Paul? Okay.
Somebody going to check him?
Yes, sir. They've already checked them.
They did check him?
Yes, sir.
It's official that they're dead?
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like.
I'm sorry.
No. You're fine.
I'm very sorry. Gotta call her parents.
What's her name?
Her name is Maggie Murdaugh. Margaret Brandstetter Murdaugh. How you doing?
What's her birthday?
9/15/68.
Okay, and what's your son's first name? You said Paul?
Paul Terry Murdaugh.
And what's his birthday?
Jason, do you have anybody
4.
coming through town that could stop and pick up that tent? I see lighting off in the distance.
What are they covering them up?
I got some getting dressed now, Sheriff. I'll have somebody stop and grab it.
Tell them they don't have to do that. They don't need to.
Alec's trial began January 25, 2023. Prosecutors laid out their case. The motive was financial desperation. The means were 2 weapons never recovered. The opportunity was those minutes at the kennels when he was alone with them. The state presented the kennel video showing Alec lied. They presented phone data showing Maggie and Paul's phones stopped at 8:49 p.m. They presented testimony about his financial crimes, painting a picture of a man with everything to lose. They presented ballistics linking shell casings to weapons on the property. They presented blood spatter evidence, suggesting Alec was close when they were shot. The defense argued Alec loved his family and would never harm them. They pointed to lack of direct evidence, no weapons, no eyewitnesses. They said the case was built on theories. They said Alec lied because of drug addiction and paranoia, not guilt. On February 23rd, Alec took the stand. Here, Alec tries to convince the jury of his innocence. He denies murdering his wife and son. He admits lying, admits stealing, admits being terrible, but insists he didn't kill his family. Watch the jury. Do they believe him? After weeks of evidence showing deception, could any words carry weight?
I'm Alex Murdaugh, Murdaugh. Good morning.
Mr. Murdaugh, On June 7th, 2021, did you take this gun or any gun like it and shoot your son Paul in the chest in the feed room at your property off Moselle Road?
No, I did not.
Mr. Murdaugh, did you take this gun or any gun like it and blow your son's brains out on June 7th or any day or any time?
No, I did not.
Mr. Murdaugh, did you take a 300 blackout, such as this, and fire it into your wife Maggie's leg, torso, or any part of her body?
No, I did not.
Did you shoot a 300 blackout into her head, causing her death?
Mr. Griffin, I didn't shoot my wife or my son anytime. Ever.
Mr. Murdaugh, is that you on the kennel video at 8:44 p.m. on June 7th, the night Maggie and Paul were murdered?
It is.
Were you in fact at the kennels at 8:44 p.m. on the night Maggie and Paul were murdered?
I was.
Did you lie to Sled Agent Owen and Deputy Laura Rutland on the night of June 7th and told them that you stayed at the house after dinner?
I did lie to them.
Did you lie to Agent Owen and Agent Croft on the follow-up interview on June 10th that the last time you saw Maggie and Paul was at dinner?
I did lie to them.
And in the interview of August 11th, did you tell Agent Owen and Agent Croft, did you lie to them by telling them that you were not down at the kennels on that night?
Yes.
Alec, why did you lie to Agent Owen, Agent Croft, and Deputy Rutland about the last time you saw Maggie and Paul?
As my addiction evolved over time, I would get in these situations or circumstances where I would get paranoid thinking. And it could be anything that triggered it. It might be a look somebody gave me. It might be a reaction somebody had to something I did. It might be a policeman following me in a car.
Alec testified for hours. He admitted decades of stealing. He admitted his addiction consumed him. He admitted lying to investigators. But he insisted he didn't kill Maggie and Paul. He broke down describing finding their bodies. He claimed he loved them more than anything. Prosecutor Creighton Waters tore him apart. He walked the jury through every lie, every theft, every manipulation. He hammered one point. When accountability came, Alec hurt people. He hurt clients. He hurt family. And when walls closed in, he killed the two closest to him. On March 2nd, after less than 3 hours of deliberation, the jury returned. Guilty on all counts. 2 counts of murder. 2 counts of weapon possession during violent crime. Alec showed no emotion. His son Buster sat behind him, stone-faced. The next day, Alec was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences without parole. This is the moment Alec learned he'd spend life in prison. Listen to the words spoken. Feel the weight of justice from Maggie and Paul, 2 people whose lives were stolen by someone who should have protected them.
And I have lived with this case now for over 2 years, and I have 34 days left before active retirement. And after imposing this sentence, your life will continue. I will turn the page and leave you behind. You're quite an enigma, a person that many of us thought we knew. And as I stated earlier, I can only recall you as being a fun-loving, happy person. I've never seen you sad. I've never seen you being anything other than a friendly, caring person, and it's so disappointing to see you again in this setting. I believe the last time we saw each other and you were not in jail was at a conference when you were poolside having a good time, and as it turns out, that was a couple of months after the passing of your wife and son, but you were having a good time, made nothing of it, and then the Labor Day weekend events occurred, and next thing I know, I'm assigned to preside over all of your matters. Not on your matters, but others as well. And we started out with over 100 charges, indictments against various folks, and we've whittled that down to just a handful outstanding. And I'm happy to turn the page and turn not turn the remnants over to anyone else, but to certainly turn over anything pending against you to someone else. It's been said that these are white-collar offenses. I've never had that distinction. I've never thought of it that way. I've looked at criminal offenses as criminal offenses. You know, 3 property crimes in South Carolina you can get 10 years in prison. People have gotten 10 years for shoplifting, 3rd offense. I've sent people into retirement for committing criminal offenses over and over and over again. But I've never thought of it as being a white-collar offense. Having had employees do embezzlement, church secretaries stole money, preachers stolen money, many offenses. But I never draw a distinction between a violent crime and other crimes. Certainly the law makes a distinction, and many violent crimes are non-parole offenses. The plea I'm accepting with you, you must serve 85% of the time. The parties have indicated that they are the victims, to the extent that they can be called victims there. That's my preferred term for the group of people who have been preyed upon or victimized. They've all indicated that they would like for the court to accept the negotiated sentence. It is a stern sentence. The question was asked, what kind of animal are you? You're an enigmatic person. I don't know that you understand yourself. What comes to mind is a young man that I sentenced to death penalty for killing a police officer and setting his body on fire, and though personally I was opposed to capital punishment, he was sentenced to death. And in writing up that sentence report, I concluded that he was heartless. He was just empty. And when I see you and I listen to you and I reflect on all that I've seen since being appointed, assigned to these cases, you come closest to that young man. Being empty, I don't see anything. I tried to reach you at sentencing in the other case. I've listened to you here today, and I don't see anything there. Hopefully something will emerge within your spirit, within your soul. Certainly, being a person of your age and intelligence and experience. You have a lot to offer to the people that you encounter on a daily basis in the institution, and I think it's admirable that you've indicated that you will help them and continue to try to do good by them. You'll certainly have a lot of opportunity to do that. As we look at it, all of us, none of us are perfect. Many of us do things that we shouldn't do. It's just unimaginable to me that you have done some of the things that you've done, and whether it's you or someone you become upon using drugs or through the process of just committing the crimes over and over the period of years. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know who I'm speaking to now. But being a person of power and influence, and the question is raised of what type of character do you have? A person who would prey upon folks who are vulnerable and who are of a lower perceived estate than you, how you would prey upon those people who you say you love, and you would capitalize on a disparity of what you have versus what they had and what they need and what they desired. In my years, I know of no greater joy as a lawyer that I've had during my 47 years as a lawyer than the joy of having a satisfied client, of delivering good results for a client and experiencing that joy with them. I can think of no greater joy than I've experienced in being able to deliver on behalf of a client, and I'm sure you've experienced that joy as well until you decided that the only joy you're concerned about was your own. I take no joy at all in imposing this sentence, but it is what it is. And you'll have to suffer the consequences of your acts, continue to suffer the consequences, and hopefully some good will come out of you as you move forward.
In his final words, Alec continued denying the murders. He said he'd never hurt them, but no one believed him. The evidence was overwhelming. The lies too many. The pattern of deception too clear. Alec's fall was complete, but legal consequences weren't over. In November 2023, he pleaded guilty to 22 federal and 22 state financial crimes. He admitted stealing millions. In April 2024, he was sentenced to 40 years in federal prison, running concurrently. In this hearing, Alec faced people he stole from. Listen as he apologizes. Do his words carry meaning? Can a man who lied for decades, who killed his family, ever be trusted? You decide.
Last thing I want to say, Your Honor, is that I am fully committed to trying to be a better person. I'm going to do as much good as possible and help as many people as I can while I'm incarcerated. I remain fully and wholeheartedly committed to finding a way to somehow make those who love me proud again in some small way. I appreciate each of you talking to me. I appreciate each of you looking at me while I'm talking to you. You can tell that you're listening, and I appreciate it. I'm going to say one more time, I hope you know, I hope you believe that it is heartfelt. And the two things that I hope you take away today are, number one, that I care about you, and number two, that I hate the things that I did, and I am so sorry. And Your Honor, I thank you for letting me address you and for letting me address the victims. Thank you so much.
Sir.
He also addressed the court during sentencing. Alex speaks to his only surviving son, Buster, a son who lost his mother and brother, who must live knowing his father is a convicted killer. Listen and ask yourself, what could a father possibly say to make this right? What words could bridge this betrayal?
Buster, I am so sorry that I let you down. I am so sorry that I have not been able to be with you. During such hard times. I am so sorry that I did so many things that are so contradictory to every single thing Mom and I ever taught you and Paul. I am so sorry. I am so very sorry that the things that I did and that I am pleading guilty to here today have somehow caused some people, especially people on social media, and some people in the media, to somehow believe that based on the things that I did, that it is somehow okay to make false, baseless, unsubstantiated claims against you that are not only based on no facts and no evidence whatsoever, but are also not based on any semblance of reality whatsoever. And I am so sorry that you have had to go through that. I know, Buster, that you know that I have always been proud of you. I have never been more proud of you than I am for the way that you have handled all of the adversity that I put on you. Your whole family is proud of you. Mom is proud of you, and Papa is proud of you. I see in letters, emails, and messages that people give to my attorneys how impressed people are with the way that you have carried yourself through all of this. I want you to remember that rational, reasonable thinking people never make as much noise as haters do. I want you to continue to tune them out and continue to be the bigger person as you have this whole time. I want you to continue to stay positive. And stay the course. I love you so much. And I am so proud of you. Next.
But perhaps most disturbing was his explanation. Alec claimed opioid addiction fueled his behavior, that drugs made him do things he'd never otherwise do. Here, Alec describes his opioid use, claiming drugs gave him energy, made him invincible. This is his excuse for years of theft, manipulation, and murder. But does addiction explain killing your wife and son? Does it explain cold calculation behind every lie, every stolen dollar, every destroyed life? Or is this just another manipulation from a man who spent his life lying?
If I took 30, if I had 30 milligram pills, you figure 100 pills would be 3,000 milligrams.
Okay. 100?
100.
So you're taking 60 a day or something like that? I mean,
there were days where I took more than that. There were days I took less than that.
And how would you take them during the course of the day? I mean, how many are you taking at one time? How frequent in this time period, let's say January to June?
You know, there's a point in time, and I'm not sure when it was, I think it was well before that, where, and you have to understand this, this is something that I can still remember the first time I ever took an OxyContin.
Murdaugh, can I ask you to answer my question, and I'll let you explain all you want. And my question was, how many were you taking a day during this time from January to June? Answer that first, please, and if you want to explain, I'm happy to let you do so.
I'm not positive, and here's why. It's because over the years, like as I was saying, the first OxyContin, one OxyContin made me sick. And that was when I was transitioning from hydrocodone to oxycodone. And it made me sick because it was a really strong one. And so, you know, one OxyContin pill was like 10 hydrocodone pills. So, but anyway, as I took more and more, and over the years, it just, you know, you build up a tolerance to pain pills. And so what might give me this energy, one of the reasons I became so addicted is some people talk about pain pills and how they make them lethargic and, where they can't do anything and they feel. Opiates gave me energy. I mean, whatever I was doing, it made it more interesting. It made me want to do it longer. To go on a drive, it made driving. It just at the beginning, it made everything better.
Federal prosecutors noted Alec failed a polygraph test, violating plea agreement terms requiring honesty. They identified 11 additional victims and another $1.3 million in stolen money. Alex Murdaugh, they said, was one of the most prolific fraudsters the state had seen. This is a recorded jail call between Alec and his brother. Listen to how he speaks when he thinks no one important is listening. Does he sound remorseful? Does he sound like someone facing consequences? Or like someone managing his image, controlling the narrative? These moments reveal true character.
Hey, John, is Lizzie nearby?
She is.
I talked to her earlier. She was going to put some money on that account for me, and she didn't.
Okay, well, what is it?
This is where she knows what to do. The boy's name is Justin Lucas.
Okay. And what is it then?
It's put money on. He doesn't get canteen, so I give him some of the money, and he orders canteen. So I'm having to order thermals and all that. I'm having to order ibuprofen because I'm exercising and my knee and my shoulder. And hell, ibuprofen's $15 on there to get a week's supply.
I got you.
So it gives me extra canteen.
I got you. He doesn't get one?
No, he doesn't get any. So she put it on his account. We just did it one time. We did it last week, and I'm gonna do it one more time.
Okay.
But I need her to do it right now.
All right. And what's the amount?
$60.
Okay.
And she's supposed to be keeping a track of all this, so I can make sure and pay you back.
10-4. Well, I'll get her. She's putting these kids down right now, putting my dog down for lots of place.
How long do you think she'll be?
4 or 5 minutes.
Okay, because we have we have 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
All right. Most. Well, I'll get her right now and ask.
Alec's legal team appealed his conviction, claiming the clerk tampered with the jury. They argue he didn't receive a fair trial. In January 2024, a judge denied his motion. However, in August, the Supreme Court agreed to hear his appeal. It's still pending. In May 2025, Clerk Becky Hill was arrested and charged with perjury and misconduct. She'd written a book about the trial, and investigators found she may have influenced jurors for publicity. While this gives Alec's defense hope, most experts believe it unlikely to result in a new trial. The evidence was too strong. Many questions remain. How exactly did Gloria die? Why was no autopsy performed? Were there other victims? And most haunting, what was going through Alec's mind as he raised a gun to his wife and son? Maggie was shot 5 times. Investigators believe she was running when Alec gunned her down, then stood over her and fired additional shots. Paul was shot twice at close range with a shotgun. The first blast struck his chest. The second destroyed his head. These weren't quick deaths. These were executions. Prosecutors believe Alec lured Maggie to Moselle by saying his father was dying and the family needed to be together. Phone records showed she hadn't planned to be there. But Alec convinced her. He knew what he would do. And Paul? He was likely killed first, possibly because he recorded that video and Alec knew it could be used against him. Or perhaps Paul's legal troubles created too much scrutiny. We may never know the exact sequence. But we know Alec made a choice. When his empire crumbled, when decades of lies were about to be exposed, he decided his wife and son were expendable. The Murdaugh dynasty is over. Their name, once synonymous with justice, is now synonymous with corruption and murder. The law firm founded by Alec's great-grandfather has closed. The hunting lodge where Maggie and Paul died has been sold. Buster has sued media outlets for defamation, trying to protect what little remains of the family name. But the real legacy is broken lives. Gloria's sons grew up without their mother and were robbed of money meant to help them. Mallory Beach's family lost their daughter because Paul was allowed to drive drunk without consequences. Countless clients trusted Alec with their settlements and futures, only to have that trust exploited. And Maggie and Paul, who loved a man capable of unimaginable evil. The story of Alex Murdaugh forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. Evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it looks like a successful attorney with a charming smile. Sometimes it wears a nice suit and lives in a beautiful home. Sometimes it sits across from you at dinner. We want to believe we'd recognize a killer, that there'd be obvious signs. But Alec fooled everyone for decades. He fooled colleagues, clients, friends, and family. The warning signs were there. Gloria's suspicious death, missing money, lies about the boat crash, the fake suicide. But people looked away because the Murdaugh name meant something, because they had power. And that willful blindness allowed Alec to keep destroying lives until he destroyed the two most precious to him. Alex Murdaugh is serving life sentences in a South Carolina maximum security prison, kept separate from general population for safety. He spent his days playing chess. He has filed appeals. He continues maintaining innocence in the murders, though he admitted every financial crime. But the question haunting this case is simple. How does a man kill his own wife and son? How does he look them in the eyes, hear their voices, and pull the trigger, then call 911 and pretend devastation? The answer is that Alec is not like most people. He's a narcissist, a sociopath, so consumed by self-preservation that nothing else mattered. Not family, not clients, not truth, only survival, reputation, the ability to keep living the lie. Paul never got to see justice for Mallory Beach. Maggie never got to grow old or see her sons build lives. They were stolen by someone who claimed to love them. And that's the ultimate tragedy. Not just that Alec is a killer, but that he killed the people who loved him most. So what do we learn? We learn privilege doesn't equal virtue. Power often hides corruption. People who seem most trustworthy are sometimes most dangerous. And when someone shows you who they are through actions, believe them. The signs were always there. Warning bells rang for years, but no one wanted to hear them until too late. The murders weren't crimes of passion. They were calculated acts of self-preservation by a man who'd spent his life lying, stealing, manipulating. When he ran out of options, when accountability caught up, he did what he always did. He hurt those closest. Only this time, he didn't just steal their money. He stole their lives. This is the story of Alex Murdaugh, a man who had everything and destroyed it all. A man who stood atop a legal dynasty and brought it crashing down. A man who, in his desperate attempt to save himself, became what his family had spent a century prosecuting. A murderer. If this case left you questioning how someone could commit such unthinkable acts, you're not alone. The Murdaugh murders remind us evil can hide in plain sight, that respectability can conceal unspeakable darkness. Here at Dark Trail Files, we dive deep into cases like this that challenge everything we think we know about human nature. Subscribe now so you never miss an investigation. Turn on notifications. Join our community of truth seekers who refuse to look away. Because the only way to understand evil is to examine it, to shine light into the darkest corners. Thank you for watching. Stay vigilant. Stay curious. Remember, the truth always surfaces, even when buried beneath decades of lies. This is Dark Trail Files.